So, Sin's finally been out for a few weeks now, and we've kind of had some time to understand how to play the character a little bit. And luckily for us, he's not really the hardest character in the world to learn. So if you're new to Guilty Gear or just new to Sin, hopefully this is the video for you. And let's just get straight into learning how to play our favorite 5-year-old fucking meathead. So getting into the basics of Sin, if you look right above your meter, you'll see another bar, which is your stamina gauge. And this is how you do the cancels of your special moves. Speaking of which, each special move can do two things. Either it can go into itself again by pressing the button again and it'll do a follow-up move, or you can dash, both of which will use up one segment of the stamina meter. This is really important because this is how you're going to set up your basic pressure and mix-ups, and it'll just make you a lot safer doing the second hit than just doing the move by itself. Both of his supers also have pretty unique mechanics. So if you do Tyrant Barrel, which is the double quarter circle forwards punch input super, you can optionally hold it down to charge up a second punch that you can then let go of the punch button to land. And if timed right, it'll do a lot more damage and get a better knockdown, but it can be pretty hard to get that perfect timing. And then with his other super, Ride the Lightning, which is, half circle backwards then forward, heavy slash. It actually has 3 hits. The first one just comes out, and then you have to press H and a direction 2 more times to get the next 2 hit. But if you have extra meter, there's an optional 4th hit that you get by just pressing the heavy slash button. That'll have a little explosion if you have extra meter left over. Also, Sin can eat. Red/meat means more damage. Green/lobster means take less damage. Blue/fish means you're faster. White/ice cream means you gain some meter. Purple/lizard means you get some HP. But they're all pretty negligible and they really don't fucking matter, to be honest.
Fucking delicious.
So Sin has pretty decent neutral, and we're going to talk about his good moves. It's just important to remember that you kind of need to throw them out with purpose because a lot of them have a decent amount of lag and they can gain a lot of space if you just throw them out for no reason. So the first move to talk about is Beak Driver. It's Sin's best far range poke, and like we said earlier, it can either be cancelled into a dash forward, you can go for a grab, or you can go into the second hit, which leaves you negative on block, but it leaves you safe enough to block a hit coming from low. In tandem with this, you kind of want to use Elk Hunt because it covers the things that Beak Driver's bad at dealing with, like 6Ps, and will hit them. And the second hit of Elk Hunt, if you hit their block, is super positive. It's a really good move to use. Far Slash is another great mid-range poke that goes slightly farther than you might expect and combos into Beak Driver. It also works kind of similarly where it, in tandem with 2S, kind of covers each other's option. Close up, you mostly want to stick to just your 2K and your jabs. And while in the air, you have your Jump H, which is nice because it goes super far, and you have your Jump S, which is really good comboing with Air Dash. So Sin's game plan overall is pretty simple at the beginner level. You just kind of want to sit like this far away, a little bit more than mid-screen, and then just fish for Beak Drivers and Elk Hunts to tag them, get your special cancels to get close, and just keep that pressure up while you're on top of them. Same goes for Far Slash and 2S. You just go into the Beak Driver, get closer, or the Elk Hunt, get closer. And once you're on top of them, you just try to mix them up with your overhead specials, tick throws, and some stacker pressure that we'll talk about in a second. So when you think about standard pressure, it's really just moves that go into each other and they're either really tight, like block string tight, or there's small gaps, like a few frames that are just going to frame trap pretty much anything somebody tries to do. So for Sin, it's Close Slash into 2S or Far S, and then from there into either 2H or 5H. And then from there, Beak Driver. Then from there, to throw the opponent for a loop, even though it's technically not real tight pressure, you can cancel any of these into either Elk Hunt or Hawk Baker. That way you can get a high-low mix-up, or with the Elk Hunt, you can even end up being super advantage on block. You can also go into this pressure if you land jumping S or jumping H low enough to the ground. And if instead you start your block pressure off with 5K or 2K, you want to go into 2D, into Beak Driver, Elk Hunt, or overhead like before. So to kind of expand upon the pressure, most of it's going to start with your Close Slash, right? Which is great because it's plus on block, which puts you at an advantage. And you really want to take that time to make your opponent second guess everything that you're going to do. So you're going to want to walk up grab after it maybe, or just continue your typical pressure with some stagger, which just means to kind of slow down the inputs so that they think you're going to go for something else, and then you maybe even counter hit them, which would be great. Or you can even do completely separate moves to try to get different strings in and, you know, just build upon the pressure, which I won't talk too much about because it's a little more advanced, but I build upon it in my guide for reaching Celestial if you want to check that out in the top right. So similarly, you can do this with 2K. 2K into grab is really great because a lot of the times you won't even have to really walk up very far, and you know, and it's really tied into 2D, get a nice counter hit there. Sin has a few standard routes to build upon when it comes to comboing that you're going to find to be kind of applicable in every scenario. First, we have close slash into 2H hoof stomp, and you want to make sure you get that second hit of 2H out before you do the hoof stomp, after which we cancel with dash into 2K or close slash depending on how much time we have. For a lot of the time you'll have enough time to get close slash, which is a lot better. And then from there you have two choices. The good Oki route, which is doing the close slash into 2H into first hit of L cunt, after which you just walk up a little bit, wait a second, and then close slash. Second option is to do close slash or 2K into 6H Hawk Baker, and if the second hit doesn't wall break, do the third hit by pressing the input again. And if you want to make sure you're hitting that close slash tight enough, set the bot to either be on Soul or Chip, and then either have it do Chip's jab on wake up, or Soul's 5K, or to just throw. That way you'll know you're timing it right, because you'll be getting counter hit every time, and if not, you'll be getting hit or thrown. So in the air, we can either start by hitting jump K or jump slash, which we can usually air dash into jump slash, jump H, close slash. Now with our wall break we have a few options. Without meters, 6H is usually your go-to. Sometimes you have enough time for charge G, but it doesn't always connect. And if they're too high in the air, just go for jump H. But if you have meter, you'd rather just use super if it's going to land. So Tyrant Barrel can do more damage if you perfectly time it, which can be kind of hard, but here's some visuals to help you get down the timing if you really want to try. But otherwise, RTL will do more damage, and if you have something like at least 25% extra meter on top of the 50 to do the super, and you're down to use it, the final explosion will make you end up doing more damage than Tyrant Barrel regardless. Just going to showcase a few B&Bs. If you want to see some more advanced combos, check out my previous Sin Kiske combo video that you can see in the top right. And if you don't know what B&Bs are, it just stands for bread and butters. They're kind of like the basic, standard, good combos that everybody should know and do. When it comes to defense, Sin has both good jabs that can convert into great combos even without counter hits, and great invincible reversible options. So when you're knocked down and you're in your get up animation, you can input Hawk Baker to do an invincible wake up and hit the enemy if they're attacking. But you want to be careful, because if you're doing this without meter, they can block and absolutely blow you the fuck up. So you want to make sure that you RC on the first hit of Hawk Baker if you want to stay safe, considering you have the meter. Other than that, you can wake up with RTL, which even beats grabs and command grabs. To wrap it up, just try to keep an eye out on your stamina bar and play around it. For instance, if you have no stamina and do first hit of Elcon or Beat Driver, it's pretty easy to get punished if they're also paying attention. So you want to do lower committal things, try to hold in neutral space, which is really good in combo with moves like Jump H and Beak Driver just touching and not actually going in. And just sit there in neutral like that until you can rebuild your stamina to the point where you feel comfortable going in and fighting on their block. Other than that, Sin's a pretty simple character, and I'm sure you'll get comfortable with them in like no time. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.